Yo, 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 this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today we are reviewing the Power Rangers. It's morphin' time! Welcome back, guys. We are talking about the Power Rangers, and if you are a fan of the show and you literally ran home from school just so that you could watch it and you absolutely loved it like that, this is probably right up your alley. For everyone else, it was good and then it wasn't. And then, well, let's get into it. So we open up in the dinosaur times. You see the Red Ranger right there. We've got Zordon and he's going up against Rita, and there's this big struggle and this whole thing, and they kind of set up the whole story of what is going to be happening for the rest of the movie with the Power Ranger coins, which felt very, very similar to Green Lantern. But I will tell you this, at the beginning of the movie, you are expecting a lot of badness, a lot of things that are gonna be super, super cheesy, and to my surprise, it actually wasn't. The first two acts of this movie are actually pretty good. I love the cinematography, I love the transitions that they did, and the actors were pretty good, except for Zach. Zach was not that great, but I'll get into that later. Now, moving on with the movie, it does have a good feel to it. There are plot points and character development that I actually liked. I liked Billy. Billy stole the show throughout the entire movie, even when it was bad. He still stole the show, and what a very interesting premise to take on his particular character, and it was actually enjoyable. And you also get this vibe, like the way they all meet each other is a very Breakfast Club kind of vibe. If you don't know what the Breakfast Club is, it's not really that important, but if you do know what it is, then it still isn't really all that important, but at least you get what I'm saying. The other thing about the cinematography is the shots, the actual shots that they do, the angles that they take. It's a different approach from what other movies do, especially one take in particular with a car accident. It's it was actually pretty intense, and it sets the movie up in a way that makes you think it's going to be fantastic all the way through. And if I'm going to be honest, it actually feels the same way that Four Stick did, or Fantastic Four, or whatever you want to call that movie, because it actually was an interesting premise up until the point where it gets bad. They almost follow the same formula of good and then they're just sprinkled bad. It's like as if they went in their pocket and there was bad seasoning in there, and they were like, no, I'm just gonna sprinkle some of this on the movie later. But I'll get into that. For the good, there was a lot of good. There was a lot of stuff to like here. I'm just not sure that they gelled it together properly, at least not for me, maybe for the Power Ranger fans. But all in all, you have two acts of pretty good stuff, and then it just starts to decline right around Act 2.8 into 3. So let's get into that. Okay, first things first, Rita sucks. She sucks. It's I was looking at my notes in my book. I write these notes in the theater, which is actually really hard because you can't really see what you're writing in the book. So it's all over the place, chicken scratch, vertical and horizontal stuff everywhere. But what is very clear is that I've written 4 distinct times in my notebook that Rita sucks. So that had to be at least a little bit of an indicator. So here's what happened. I talked about the good stuff, and it was good. They set up a movie that felt like it was going to be something different. And they did that here, but then after Act 2, it's literally as if the director was just all right, bro, morphin' time. And then they morphed it into the TV show for the whole third act. I get it. The people we were in the theater with absolutely loved it. They were Power Rangers fans, hardcore Power Ranger fans. And they were whoa, what do you expect? This is Power Rangers. But I get it. I do get it. But if you're going to make a movie like this and really try to push the envelope, there's no reason to just throw everything out in the third act. For example, things hey, you get the suit on and all of a sudden you know martial arts, and you know how to use your Zords, and you're just able to just do things out of nowhere. And there are movies that have done that, particularly The Matrix, but they explained it in a scene where they pumped them full of a bunch of information. That didn't quite happen here. Not that I saw, and maybe I'm missing something, but it just felt way too rushed in the third act, and then it just went full on cheese. Literally, they ordered the movie and said, yo, let me get some extra cheese on this film, yo. There's cheese oozing. Like Goldar, that's not really gold coming off of Goldar, it's cheese. With that being said, I don't really know how much you can expect from a movie called The Power Rangers and what you can really expect from a villain called Rita Repulsa. It's just what it is. Also, Rita's really bad. Like really over the top cheese bad. Like it's almost, maybe it might become like cult status bad, but it's bad, like bad. If you've ever watched Power Rangers and the very first thing you hear in the intro is Rita Repulsa and that cheesy line that she has, it's pretty much the same. All right, switching gears, going to the actual Rangers. The Rangers were actually very good, except for one, and I just felt Zach in particular was especially horrible at acting. Like the things that he tried to say, and when he tried to be sincere, it kind of made people laugh in the theater. There were laughs going on serious scenes, and then the things that he says when it's supposed to matter doesn't feel like it matters because it's done badly. Yeah, and I guess that's it. Verdict time, guys. I'm going with a 2.5 out of 5 on this one. Now, I do want to be fair. I know I said the first 2 acts were good and the 3rd act was terrible, but the 3rd act kind of counts as double to me. So it's really a 2.5. It's like a 50% movie. It's something that if you are a Power Rangers fan though, you might actually love this. You might go and just be like, dude, they spoke directly to me. This is fan service from the burger to the cheese. You know what I'm saying? But if you're someone that enjoys like engaging movies and things like that, like or seeing how a movie can be transformed from that cheesy nature of the TV show and still give enough fan service but still make a compelling movie, then that's more of the 50% 2.5 star kind of thing. So that's where I'm at with this movie. Once again, this is Dorky Diggity Dave. You just watched a review for Power Rangers, so is it morphin' time for you? Are you going to the theater? Go ahead and let me know what you thought if you did see it down in the comments below. And so if you liked the video, and I hope that you did, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share with your friends, share with your mama, all that stuff helps me out. And remember, stay dorky and I'll catch y'all on the flip.